Hi, welcome to Creativity Inside and Out. I'm Cindy Jo Hinkleman, and we're glad you're with us today for our first show that we have been planning for years and years and years, and finally it's happening. On Creativity Inside and Out, we're going to be interviewing artists in all different genres of art, and then they will either perform or demonstrate their art. And I hope you had a chance to watch some of the promos that were uploaded prior to this show just launching today, because they talked about what we're doing and why we're doing it, and it goes into a little bit of the depth of the show and what we hope to accomplish and what we hope to share with you on the show. So let's get going. Our first guest today is a man by the name of Jeffrey Polk, and he is a world-class entertainer. He and I have known each other for years, and he is going to share his life with us, and then he's going to entertain us. So let's get this started. Hi, here we are with Jeffrey, and we're going to talk to him and find out a lot about his life and what he does. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about on each show, first off, is how we originally met.
Okay.
So how did we meet?
I think it was junior high school. Yes.
Yeah. Just a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago in junior high, at least, yeah. And met through music, performing. And you were in the choir, but I was outside of the choir, but actually I did the summer musicals.
Right.
Yes.
And what did we do? We did South Pacific.
Right.
And Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof. And my first show was Oklahoma.
Which I think I ran Spotlight for.
Yes. I played Judd.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Cool. What did you play in South Pacific? I remember your costume. I can still see it to this day.
Stew pot.
Who, what?
Stew pot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have pictures if you want.
Yes, we do want.
Oh, okay.
I still have a picture of my Fiddler on the Roof costume, too.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I was the bartender.
The bartender.
Yes.
I love it.
I'm going to be careful.
Now let's talk about what you do. You are a performer.
Yes.
And you perform where?
I perform basically now just in nightclubs or whoever wants me to sing someplace. My career now is mostly directing. It was directing and choreographing, but mostly directing now. So I enjoy doing that too. So just anything that has to do with stage, I'm there.
Right. And you sing, you dance.
Yes.
You direct.
Yes.
And what else do you do?
Choreograph.
Choreograph, that's right.
Play Candy Crush.
And those downtimes.
On those downtimes, yeah.
Right. And let's go back a little bit, your childhood, where you grew up.
San Bernardino, California.
Which is where we met.
Yes.
Well, actually, Rialto.
Rialto, California.
Yeah.
But my house was 1 block away from Rialto.
It was?
Yeah, so I still had the San Bernardino address.
But you were in the Rialto School District.
Yes.
Interesting. Oh, so you were over on the east side
Yes.
of town. I'd think about that.
Meridian was the divider, and my house was east of Meridian.
Okay.
Right
I don't
on.
think I was ever at your house. I don't think I ever went there.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. All right. And have you always known that you were an artist?
Not really. I knew that I loved music, and I just knew that I had to be around music. I gravitated to music, and so growing up, listening to music, I had a friend that would, a family friend that would babysit me, but their daughter played the clarinet and played the piano for an hour after she got home from school, and for some reason I was intrigued with that. So that's when I started playing the clarinet in 4th grade.
Right. And
Yeah.
you play drums?
No.
Oh.
I played all woodwinds, saxophone, flute, even piccolo, and then I even played sousaphone my last year in high school.
Oh my gosh. So you did in high school, you were doing choir and band
Yes.
then. And the rooms were side by side, so he could just hop back and forth.
I don't remember anything outside of that little block where it was theater, choir and band.
That's right. The theater was in that building right next to the band room
Right.
and the choir room as well.
And then the rest of the school I don't know anything about.
I feel kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Because we were just always there.
Right. During
Yeah.
lunchtime, any kind of break. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where our friends were in
Yes.
our circle.
And it's wonderful because I've gone back to Eisenhower to help out their show choir and stuff like that. And that happens every lunchtime where all the students hang around the Fine Arts building. And I just think it's amazing.
They still do the same thing.
Yes, I think that's so cool.
I remember when I was there for Ronnie Lott for the stadium dedication.
Yes.
Ronnie Lott, who's a football player, a lot of you I'm sure know who he is, just a few years ago, they built a stadium finally at Eisenhower High School in Rialto. We always had to play football off campus. And they named it after him. And so Ronnie was at the dedication. And when we were walking back from the stadium, some friends of mine and I that from high school, we went by that building, and sure enough, there were some of the students outside.
Yes.
And I think they were outside the band room.
And they actually have a theater now.
Really?
A full-on, beautiful, full-stage theater.
We just had a little like a classroom theater kind of.
No, they have a full-on theater with lights and sound and.
Oh, that's
yeah,
fantastic.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. So let's talk about Young Americans.
Okay.
And when will you explain what Young Americans is?
Young Americans was a performing group designed just to make young kids look wonderful in life, because it started in 1965, and during 65, that's when, or actually, yeah, 62 actually. And that's when kids were like rebels and all that other stuff. And so this man said, why don't I get these kids from all over that are just normal kids and let them sing and dance and show that they're not all wearing, leather jackets and being bad or whatever. And so he developed a group called the Young Americans. It was a nonprofit group, but at the time I got in, was ran very professionally because we had agents and everything. We had a lot of stuff. We were sponsored by Columbia Artists a lot. And when I first got in the group in 1975, oh yeah, I said a year.
Weren't you still in diapers in 75? I know.
I barely remember that. But as they would say in Young Americans, I was a new kid in 1975. And it was wonderful. You had to have at least a B+ average to an A average to get in the group. So you had to show your report card. They rehearsed in Los Angeles, so I would drive up every Saturday and Sunday. And then we did professional shows all around the United States at any given time. They called them 45-minute show or industrial shows for different sponsors or whatever it may be. Sometimes I didn't know what it was, but I know there was a full orchestra behind me and somebody professional walking out at the end of the show, either George Burns or somebody, Frank Sinatra or somebody.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And who were the bands?
The band was Manny Harmon, and the other band was Les Brown and the Band of Renown, and they were both like Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra's band.
Oh my gosh. And they were with the Young Americans?
No, we were with them. They played at the group. They played for everybody.
Oh.
They just happened to be our little 45-minute section to play. I mean, whoever, they weren't part of us at all, because, if it was Kate Smith or Buddy Epson or whoever it was, that band was there for the evening, for all the stars, and they bring their charts there. Young Americans had charts, and we bring our charts there, and yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So did you meet any of those incredible, like Frank Sinatra, did you meet any of those people back in those days?
Yes, I was pretty shy, and everybody else gravitated to people like, let's take pictures and stuff like that. I'm like going, but I did meet a great handful of wonderful artists that I respected and grown to love. It was wonderful. Buddy Epson was one of them. George Burns was excellent. He was so funny. He was, counting his way out. Like, there's 70 steps to the center and 70 steps to the back. So when I'm finished, just count, and then because he couldn't see really. And he just knew that I was about his size. He goes, kid, I like you. Can I just lean on you? You're about my size. Make me feel good. I went, okay, great.
He would say that?
Yes. I'm like, okay, thanks. Hi.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what happened? How long were you in the Young Americans then?
The Young Americans at that time, the age was from 15 to 21. And
It's
then,
young. They were the Young Americans, yeah.
yeah, and then after that, after I was about 21, still going through another professional things in my life, they had a dinner theater at Peter's Landing called Tibby's Music Hall.
And what's Peter's Landing?
Peter's Landing's in Huntington Harbor.
In California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Huntington Harbor in California, yes.
Thank you.
Huntington Harbor in California, Peter's Landing, and it was kind of like a mall. You know, there was a Rubens on top of where we were, and then Tibby's was on the bottom, and it was a dinner theater where the waiters, there was 14 of us, 7 guys, 7 girls, and we would wait tables and do a show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. And now you're traveling the world. I was going to save this question for later, but it seems like a good place to ask you.
Okay.
Now you're traveling the world with a kind of an extension, right, of...
Yes, Heart Global. We're doing music workshops around the world. Yes.
Yeah. And what do you do, and where do you go? I want to know all about it.
Okay. Well, we have workshops in Japan and Europe right now, and next year we'll be in Britain. We'll probably go to Ireland, Scotland, and all through England. And there are different groups that do this, but what Heart Global does is that they walk into a community of kids and wonderful things. There's a cast of 16, we call them 16 teachers, and they actually perform, but they actually teach the kids a show that they'll be doing later on. It could be 2 days or 3 days. They're mostly 3-day workshops. So they walk in there, they teach these kids, and they have, writing classes, music classes for them within 3 days. And by the end of the 3 days, they do our show.
That's quick.
And the cast within those students will be in there with them, telling them what to do and, just to guide them. As a director, I just kind of like, I'm the announcer and kind of like the father figure, or just kind of like the guy kind of in charge if you need something. So I always go, hi everybody, welcome to Heart Global. In the next 3 days, we're going to do a show. And then I do all my spiel, and then all of a sudden I go, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, learn your first dance. And then I watch them get these kids who were shy, who were crying, and by the end of 20 minutes, when that workshop starts, everybody becomes a family. They're all best friends, and
that's beautiful.
Right, and then they teach them their choral songs, and I watch them there, and then I direct them chorally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and so some of them are really intimidated by it then in the beginning, or they just
do it?
Yeah,
the program is geared to make you successful for your life, to make you come out of your shell. Don't be our theory, our saying is yes and. Yes, every possibility, everything's a possibility, not a problem. And we go through that speech at the very beginning, and then we do it with so much love and so fast and furious, these kids don't have time to think about should I not do it.
Oh.
After a while, they're just like doing it and they're into it. And by the 3rd day, they go, oh my God, we already did a show. We're ready to do a show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's fantastic.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
So that's why it does your heart so good. You're teaching them not just music, dancing, you're teaching them so much more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Motivation. So what countries have you gone to? I know you said you have a bunch of stamps in your passport.
I can't name a lot of them.
Why?
Because I could go, I went to Germany, London, Ireland, all over Japan, all over Europe. I mean, like Lithuania, Estonia. We even went to the Ukraine, a lot of Poland, a lot of, yeah.
And over how many years have you been doing this now?
A long time.
Okay.
I've been doing this since 2013.
Oh, okay. So for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you stay with host families when you're there?
Yes, that's the thrill of everything, because you get to actually be with these people in their community, sharing their food, sharing their thoughts, and they're so wonderful and open to you, and they get to show you and you get to show them type thing. And,
Right.
and usually the host families has a student within that workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. And you've gotten to know, because you've stayed with families, you said, numerous times now, right?
Oh, yes.
The same families?
Yeah.
So you've gotten to know them.
I just wrote a family today. That's one reason I was running, but because I went, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in your neighborhood, and I would love to see you. And this family I've known since 2015, and they give me postcards whenever they go on vacation. I get to know what their two girls are doing. They contact me at least every 2 months.
And they're from where?
They're from Hanover, Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they stay in touch after you leave
A
them?
lot of families do. A lot of friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is wonderful.
Oh, absolutely. That is so nice. So, and in your spare time, it sounded like you're really like crazy busy, you know?
Well, it becomes crazy busy. I mean, like in my spare time, I'm either putting on a musical or directing a concert or somebody's nightclub act, or
Somewhere in Los Angeles area.
Yes.
Right, right. Are you doing more than one show at once oftentimes, or no?
I try not to.
Because that's just ludicrous, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you do every now and then.
They will cross over. Like this last week, I performed at the Federal upstairs
In North Hollywood.
in North Hollywood,
California.
and then I was had to do a luncheon in Alhambra, California, for 2 days, and do the Federal that night. Come back and do the same luncheon, and that luncheon was like 7 performers and all professional. They were doing a tribute to Richard Rodgers or Rodgers and Hammerstein, and
Nice.
I choreographed it, which I don't like to choreograph and be in anything because I still want to look around to see if they're doing everything okay, which drives me crazy. And I always say I never want to do that, but they always talk me into doing it, and because oh, Jeffrey, just be in it. Oh, you look so great. I'm like going, okay. Yeah.
You know what, speaking of choreography, I was thinking the other day when we talked about, we studied at the same dance studio,
Tremaine, yes.
but we didn't see each other. We were out of touch for a few years. There was a
Yes.
gap in there. And we didn't realize that you were taking classes during the day,
Oh, yeah.
jazz classes
Yes.
primarily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was taking classes at night.
Oh, okay.
And so we were both there, but we had no idea. And we discovered that years later.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
Yeah, which was a great, I did jazz too, not professionally, but like you have done it. But,
I just like taking his classes because he was so great.
Joe
And
Tremaine.
yes, Joe Tremaine, and he would start off with Jazz 1, Jazz 2, and Jazz 3. And a lot of them were the same combination, but 1 pirouette, 2 pirouettes, or 3 pirouettes. A little harder, like, higher kicks and bigger splits. And those classes were great, and so I would take like 2 to 3 classes a day from, yeah.
I would take one class, but I remember one night I went in and he had a Jackie Slight,
Yes.
who also taught there. I was going to take Jackie's class, and when I was signing in, he came up next to me. He goes, "Haven't seen you." And I said, "Well, I've been away for a few months." And then he said, I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going to take Jackie's class." And he goes, "You've been away for a few months?" I went, "Yeah." And so there was a room that had a window looking into the studio where we were dancing, and I choked. I really choked. It was, that 3 months really took its toll, and he was standing out there laughing at me. He was
Oh,
watching
wow.
me, laughing at me. Right. I was like, "Yeah, okay, I got it, Joe." Right.
He was very encouraging, though. He was so
He's still
encouraging.
at it, isn't he?
Not really. He's pretty old now. He's
Yeah.
still around, and his conventions are everywhere now too.
Oh, that's what I saw him
Yeah.
doing then when I
So,
was looking.
so he still had the conventions, but I was at a show singing backup for somebody one time, and I decided to do a dance instead of singing a lick or something. And some tall man, redheaded man, went, "Yeah, go Jeffrey, that's you." I went, "Oh my gosh." Okay, yeah, that was me. I didn't want to sing, but okay, I could still kick my leg up to here and do a yeah, okay, keep going. It was funny, very wonderful, and it just made my heart sing.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, that was so great.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell the story about when you did the ballet with Young Americans.
Oh, Young Americans, we had a 45-minute show, and what would happen is that it was a variety of a lot of things. And so the very first thing we did was this thing called Yankee Doodle. Oh, Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. Second thing we would do is a magical. And at the very end of that, all of a sudden, I would have to run out and go, everybody say, hey, hey, say, whoa, 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 whoa. The Ray Charles song. Hey, hey, whoa, whoa, hey, hey, hey. Tell me what I say, yeah. I'm just doing it. Wow, one of the kids got wild. And at the very end, they want to dance. And I was like, great, I'll dance. And so first time I'm like, oh, pop lock, yeah, because that was in style then. And they went, do something you really want to do. So the day of the show, I was like, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do. But I've been taking a lot of ballet. And I weighed, it was pretty hefty. It's okay. But after my 8-count beat, it was like pas de relais, double pirouette, jeté, double pirouette, and land in fourth. And I went, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. And the whole cast was supposed to be clapping behind them like this, and they all kind of went. And he went, well, you never know what those kids are going to do. Especially Mr.
So you totally
Polk.
changed it up.
I did. And from then on, Milton Anderson, the founder of Young Americans, just loved me because he went, no telling what I may do.
And that was a good thing.
It was a great thing.
Yeah.
It was a very large learning curve in my life, being a little different from everybody else, but still trying to be on stage with everybody else.
Was it a fine line, kind of?
No, I just learned how to be myself. Yeah.
That is something you have to learn when you're growing up, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I did that in dating, too, I'll admit it. I always tried to be what I thought a man would want me to be instead of being myself. And, of course, that never worked out.
Right.
Right? So, yeah. So, let's talk about composers. Who's your favorite composer? Do you have one?
Not
For
really.
musical theater? Or?
Not really. There's so many of them. Music to me is just, I always call it the melody of life. There are some composers that I don't understand, but I go from the gamut of everything. I can listen to everything, and I think everything is wonderful. I think efforts are great. So, favorite composers, there's so many.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Who's your favorite composer?
Gershwin.
Yes.
Hands down, Gershwin.
Gershwin.
Yeah, and like you, I appreciate all the others and I love their music, but someone to watch over me.
Right.
That song, I don't know what it is. That song just makes me cry always. So.
Gershwin's great. I love all of his stuff. I could listen to Gershwin all day long.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw Michael Feinstein at the Hollywood Bowl in California do a whole concert. This was a number of years ago, of all Gershwin music.
Wow.
And it was fantastic, and he just accompanied himself on piano and sang, and it was just him alone on the stage, and he brought it to life, and it was gorgeous.
And Gershwin music is always bringing everything to life. I love it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we talked about jazz, dance.
Uh-huh.
We talked about ballet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do any other styles?
I tap.
I know you do.
Yeah. I've done contemporary. Now there's no jazz anymore because they call it contemporary, they call it modern, it's called something else, or hip hop. And I hipped a hop a few times, and I've choreographed a hip of a hop and stuff like that, and locking and whatever, yeah.
I love jazz, like we learned it when all that jazz came out and chorus line, and I love that jazz.
Yes.
It's just so much fun to dance.
I remember that well.
Yeah. So that's not really happening much anymore, huh?
No, everybody goes, it's contemporary or modern, or that vocabulary, especially in dance, is kind of left.
Really?
Yes.
Are the steps still there, or are they modified?
Everybody has 2 feet. You walk backward, you're forward, you could call it whatever you need to.
true. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Interesting. Interesting. So let's talk about the different venues that you perform at. You said you do a lot of cabaret kind of performing, or?
Yeah, one is mostly musicals, and that gathers around usually about 8 performers who are very professional from Broadway and from television and film who just want to get out one night and just sing a song. Mm-hmm. They usually call me. I look at the line, I'm going, well, okay, I'm here. It's really wonderful because these are some of the most talented people in the Los Angeles area.
Oh, it must be fantastic.
And it's so great. And the other one has the same caliber of people. It's called Miscast.
Okay.
And that's a little bit more, it's more of a production because we kind of do an opening and we do a little closing. We kind of do things together. Mm. But it's, people singing songs that they would normally not sing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mostly musicals is songs from musicals.
Not really. It's just they'll think like the last time we did it was called Wild Thing or something like that, and everybody wanted animals. Everybody sang about the animals and different types of animals, under the sea, and just And I sang actually "Be a Lion," and that's from The Wiz, and it's usually sang by the lead by Dorothy.
Oh, okay.
And I just switched it a little bit for me to make it my internal story.
Right.
And yeah, so.
So we're going to watch one of those videos from Mostly Musicals.
Yeah, that's, yes.
Go ahead.
No, I think the one that you chose.
Yes, that you chose that I agreed with.
Okay. I liked it because my brain goes crazy and I always try to figure out things sometimes. And so I went, okay, do you hear what I hear?
The Christmas song.
Yes. What does that mean? And then you'll see when you play it. I just thought it was funny to go, okay, so the sky's talking to the lamb and the lamb's talking to the kid and, everybody's talking to.
See, do you hear what I hear?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm kind of going crazy if some lamb starts talking to me. Said the night wind to the little lamb. But they got all the way to the king, so I guess we made it.
So all that, because I've seen it, all that you have I can speak, all that you've added to this
Yes.
is all your original
Yes.
crazy kind of thoughts.
Yes.
Okay, I love it. Let's watch that now.
This is my version of a song, one of my favorite Christmas songs. I was coughing for a while, so my voice is kind of raspy, and you're welcome to help me out with it. It's a sing-along. You kind of know it if you want to sing along. Everybody, okay? But it's my story, my vision. So the night wind to the little lamb. Do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb. And do you see what I see? A star, dancing in the night. As big as a kite, with a tail as big as a kite. Now, I know, if I saw a star dancing, it's going to be Nay-Nay. Going, hey. So that little lamb heard that wind talk to him, and he was like, oh, what's up? Why are you talking to me? I've been down here all this time, now you get ready to talk to me. Stand up and down here. Yeah, so the lamb said, okay, I'm going to run, and found a little shepherd boy. And the lamb speaking to the shepherd boy was, what? But it's okay, because he said, okay. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Ringing in the sky, shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear? A song, high up in the trees, with a voice as big as a sea. With a voice as big as a sea.
like a Pavarotti if you're going to hear that big voice, right? Yeah. So then, you got the wind talking to the lamb talking to the boy. The boy said, okay, something must be up. So we're like looking all everywhere, and all of a sudden he's going to find, you know, one of the biggest places he knows. And you know what that is. Say that one more time. He knocked on that door. Whoa, said the shepherd boy to the mighty king. Hey, do you know what I know? In your palace warm, mighty king. Whoa, you know what I know. A child shivers in the cold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Yeah. Now I would have brought him a blanket, but now that he got silver and gold, he got enough money about whatever he wants. So the king said, so the wind talked to the lamb talked to the little boy, and the little boy talking to me. Oh, something must be on. So the king stepped up on me, give me one more. Yeah. He opened that balcony door, rolled up his pants, said the king to the people everywhere, listen to what I say. What I say. A child sleeping in the night, he will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light. Do you see what I see? Do you hear what I hear? You know what I know. Listen to what I say. Listen to what I say. Oh, yeah.
So this is the end of the first segment with Jeffrey Polk. Check back to find out more.